Hi again, students. It's Mrs. Fernandi. We're going to do a little bit more work with this week's words. But before we get into the tion and jon again, we're going to talk a little bit about possessives. So I'm going to share my whiteboard with you. And we are going to discuss possessives. A possessive word means that literally something is possessed by something else. Something is owned by something else. So for example, the girl's hat. This apostrophe S means that the hat belongs to the girl. Maybe she owns it, maybe she's borrowing it, but for right now, it's the girl's hat. It's the hat we're talking about, it's the one on her head. There's the word the boys, it ends in an S. But then if we want to make that possessive, if we want to give something to the boys, we can talk about the boys' shoes. If we're talking about one boy, we're going to put that apostrophe before the S. If we're talking about more than one boy who has shoes, we're going to put apostrophe after the S, the boy's shoes. You might say those are boys' shoes, or you might say those are the shoes that belong to the boys, in which case we're going to use the apostrophe. Remember that we use apostrophes in other places too. If we want to take the words cannot and change them to can't, we use an apostrophe. It's the same, we could still call that an apostrophe, same as we use for possessives as well. So possessives can be confusing because we do have S, we have apostrophe S, and we have S apostrophe, depending on what we're talking about. Another even weirder thing is we could say the man's golf club. Oops. Oh, gold, oh, that's good. The man's gold. But what if we have a lot of men? We don't say mans, we say men. In which case, that word is already plural. It's already talking about a lot of men. So if we're talking about the men's gold, we're still going to put apostrophe S. This can get a little bit confusing, but I have a fun PowerPoint to show you to help clear some of it up. So let's stop sharing that, and let's go to my PowerPoint. Okay, let's go ahead and start from the beginning. Here's that word again, possessives. Possession means to belong to something, to belong. Where to put the apostrophe depends on the person or the things it belongs to. So it's either S apostrophe S, if it's one thing or already a plural word, or S apostrophe, if we want to make sure we understand that the people or things that possessing this other thing are plural or singular. Okay, so for example, we have here the boy's cat. We know it's one boy who has one cat. So we're going to use apostrophe S, the boy's cat. Same thing here, the girl's dog. We have one girl, one dog. So we're going to say apostrophe S. The one girl has one dog. So the girl's dog is super cute. Singular possessive, we can keep going with this. We can have the boy having lots of cats. It's not going to change our possessive. We're still going to say apostrophe S, the boy's cats. So it's one boy with lots of cats, two or more cats. One boy, two or more sleeping cats. So we're still going to say boy apostrophe S, boy's cats. Same with the girl. If that one girl has more than one dog or more than one puppy, we're still going to use the single possessive. We're still going to say this one girl is lucky enough to have all of these dogs, right? Okay, so that's single possessive. No matter how many things they have, if it's just one thing that possesses all of it, we're going to do apostrophe S. Now, if we have a couple of boys, say we have a couple of brothers in a family, I can think of a couple of you out there. We have multiple boys, 2 boys, 3 boys, 6 boys, doesn't matter how many, and they just have the one cat. We have more boys with one cat, so the boys have to share. But we're going to put the S before the apostrophe to basically show, if I cover that up with my mouse, we have lots of boys, which we spell B-O-Y-S. Then we're going to put the apostrophe to show that all of those boys own this one cat. So we're going to say S apostrophe. Same thing here. If we have a bunch of girls, maybe some cousins or some sisters together who own one dog. We're going to put all the girls, we're going to spell the word girls, G-I-R-L-S, then put our apostrophe to show that all of these girls share this one little dog. Okay? Okay. Same thing with, if we have, again, we have a lot of boys and a lot of cats, and all of the cats belong to all of the boys. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to write the word boys, the plural of boys. That shows that that's all those boys. And then we're going to make the apostrophe. So the boys' cats. More boys have more than one cat. Makes it a little bit easy to share these cute little cats. Same thing with the girls. We have a whole bunch of girls, 2 or more girls. And those 2 or more girls will write the word girls with the S on the end. Then we'll put the apostrophe to show that all these little dogs, both of these dogs, are owned by 2 or more girls. Is it starting to make sense? I hope so. That's the end of that. Hopefully that helps you understand possessives a little bit better. Let's pop back to our, let's see, here we go, our other PowerPoint. Oh no, this one. Let's do this. And let's pop here. Let's see where we're gonna go. Slideshow. Let's do from the current slide. So for this week, you know that you're working on tion and sion and that chur sound, the tur as well. So we're gonna look at the words you really need to know for this week. Those tion words. The first one is action. Remember that we talked about, we have the word act. It ends in a consonant and then a T. So we're going to use the shun, which is tion. We'll just add that ion. Information. Information comes from, information is to inform, and then the actual thing that we're informing is information. So we have the A-T-I-O-N. Then we have attention, right? And section. Those are your tion words for this week. There are only 4 of them. See if you can figure that, if you can learn those. Action, information, attention, and section. Oh, and question, sorry, there are 5. Question. And then your sion words for this week are discussion, discuss. Remember that already ends in SS. We're not going to change it to a T. We're just going to add the ion. Television. We can clearly hear the zhun instead of the shun. So we're pretty sure that is going to be S-I-O-N. And decision or decision. Again, we can really hear that S-I-O-N. Okay, super. Just a little bit of information there about possessives and a little refresher there on the T-I-O-N versus the S-I-O-N. Go ahead and pause the video for a second. Make sure you have a pencil and a paper and or a whiteboard or chalk and a board. And let's just practice writing a couple of the words, okay? So when you are ready, I am going to share my whiteboard again so that I can write them as well. We're going to start with the word mission. And think about the word, oh, hey, let's clear these. Let's think about the rules that we learned. So think about the mission, say mission first of all. Okay. Astronauts receive their orders from mission control. For spelling mission, if we spell it in syllables, we're going to write first the word, the syllable miss, M-I-S, and then mission, mission. We're just going to add another S, right? That seems to make sense. Mission. And again, when we divide those syllables, we're going to divide right between the S's there. Our second word is explosion. Hey, explosion. There was a huge explosion inside the volcano. Let's write those by syllables too. The first syllable is X, E-X, and then plo. You hear that long O sound. That's an open syllable, plo, and then jeune. We know that the word was explode, and if you think back to our rules, we know that we're going to take that D-E away, and we are going to put S-I-O-N. Another way to remember that It's just to hear the difference. Explosion. You can hear that jean really clearly. You ready for the next one? Number 3 for today is future. Remember that chur we talked about last time? That is that T-U-R-E makes that chur sound. So go ahead and write future. We have that first syllable, which has the long U. It's an open syllable, which means it ends in the vowel. So we have few and then chur. That's that chur sound we already know. Excellent. I feel like you're doing so well. The next word is period. The grading period ended in November. Say period. Now let's think about those 3 syllables. P, re, ud. This is a little tougher. The first syllable is easy because it's just an open syllable, P, long E sound. And then the second syllable is re, and it is spelled R-I instead of R-E. We hear that long E sound, but we're going to spell it R-I. And then ud, ud. If you remember from the last time, we are going to make that schwa, that upside down E sound, with an O, D, period. We use that word a lot, right? The next one is below. The temperature dipped below freezing this morning. First say below, 2 syllables, below. And those are both pretty easy to write, right? We have the word be, and then we have the word low, below. The next one is answer. Be careful. Remember, there was 1 silent letter in this word. I knew the answer to the question. Say answer. Now, the first syllable is easy, an. And then the second syllable, I hear the S, I hear the but this W is silent. And the if you remember what I told you, at the end of the word is most commonly written ER. Great answer. Tube. Okay, go ahead and write tube. Go ahead and say tube. They floated down the river on an inner tube. I've done that before. It's super fun. Tube. T, long U, B, and what do we have? Right now we have tub. What do we need at the end? Exactly, the silent V. Okay, the next word is vacation. Vacation. We're going to start with that open vowel syllable, they, and then our second syllable, K, V-A-C-A, vacay, and then shun. We know the word, actually, if you've heard this word before, is to vacate. Remember what we talked about in our rules. We're going to take away that silent E, and we're just going to add the I-O-N. Okay? And the next word, number 9, is party. Par-T. P-A-R, par, that's the par. And then T, remember I told you the long E sound at the end of a word is spelled with the letter Y. Let me show you why. If I put this on there, unless you're French, that says part. It doesn't really say anything. So we need to make sure when we want that long E sound at the end of a word, we're going to use a Y. And the last word for today is driving. We talked about this word yesterday as well. To drive. And what letter do we have to drop in order to make driving? You're right. E. Driving. Excellent. Check over your words. Make sure you got them right. Change anything that you didn't. And I will see you soon. Oh, uh-oh, I just did something bad. Okay, just did it wrong. Okay, everyone, see you soon.